This is the first time I attempt doing a late night live stream. It won't be very long. I don't want this to be longer than 20 to 25 minutes, maybe even a shorter period than that. Please just let me know if the sound is okay. If you can hear me just fine, please let me know. Hi Debbie, hoop dit gaan goed jou kant. So this is a question and answer session. So anything you want to ask me, we've had many meetings over the past couple of days and even before that. Sound is good. Hi, Juliet. Okay, awesome. So any questions you want to ask me at a lot of my meetings, we have 20 people on now. I didn't expect that we'll have a lot of people this time of night. But considering the algorithms on the channel now, we might be able to get about 50 people on or so. And that's fine, even if it's a few of us, we can have a nice discussion together. But any questions you might have that we don't get chances to discuss in the meetings, or those of you that haven't been able to be to one of my meetings, die van julle wat nog nie by een van my vergaderings kon uitkom nie, you can please ask me questions now. Please, yes, hit the like button. It really helps to drive the algorithm so more people can see this video. Remember, once the live stream is over, this video will still be available on the channel, and people will be able to watch it there. Devil, please enlighten me. He says, have you seen the Klerk is now Mujahideen? I'm not sure what his situation is at all. I prefer not to speak about him. In fact, it makes me kind of sick. The last time I literally saw FW de Klerk face to face, he was sitting in a chair, slouched over, smoking a cigar at the dinner table. So, yeah, seriously. Well, he can do what he wants. It's his own freedom, what he wants to do. The man is very interesting. I have a lot of Muslim friends, so I don't have a problem with the fact that he wants to be a Muslim. If he wants to be one, it doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that he was a traitor to the country, and he allowed our country to be sold out to people. I won't call it the highest bidder because these people were always in charge of the country. He sold the country out to people that want to control our freedom. And for that, he will go down in my history books as a traitor. And I'll never see it any other way. Yeah, Debbie, he's running away, taking all his fancy pictures and maybe his fancy cars with him too. So, yes. Yeah, absolutely, Devil. New World Order puppet, 100%. I can't have respect for anyone like that. I have no respect for the Klerk. I never will. I'll tell him that in his face. So, yeah. Is it a good time to invest in a small holding? I want to, but I'm fearful to make this next move. Warren, at this stage, I won't invest in any property until we have the new governance system in place. This is me personally. I can't tell you what to do. I won't invest in property until we have a new governance system in place. So we're working at this on the ground today. We had a really, really awesome time. The meeting yesterday, and it was just overwhelming. We had to get a new venue. We had a venue for 20 people, and then we ended up more than doubling the amount of people that actually came. So, yeah. So when it comes, making that difference, the people that are willing to change the country is overwhelming. It's happening on the ground. So don't think that it's a pipe dream. It happens one person at a time. We almost have 50 people on now. Thanks for everyone coming on. Please hit the like button so that we can get the algorithm to work on this channel. This is the first time I try a late night on Saturday. I thought some people might be sitting in bed just before they pass out. They might just want to ask a few questions. So please let the questions come. Yes, when it comes to property, and remember, you will never own the property that you buy under the current system. You get a title deed to that property. That doesn't mean that you own the property. It's a title deed. Go and see what that means. Any land in the country can be expropriated. You don't need to change section 25 of the Constitution to expropriate land at all. You can literally, as the government, decide to take the land away for the greater good of the rest of the people. And this is utter nonsense, but this is where we're at. Okay. Wanneer kom ek Appington toe? As on our way back to Cape Town, we are coming past the Northern Cape. Please just contact me and organize a meeting, and I will be there. We keep on telling people that we don't organize meetings in those areas. So don't ask me when am I coming somewhere. Say, listen here, we want you here. I've spoken to some people, and we're organizing a meeting. So when can you come? And I will be there. There's not a single place that asks me to be there that have arranged for a meeting that we haven't been to. So a lot of people ask for us to, when are you coming here? When are you coming there? Arrange a meeting and we will come. It doesn't matter where it is in the country. What do you think of Jesse Perez Casanova's work? Jesse contacted me some time ago, and he said that what we are doing is pointless and fruitless because he believes that all governments just need to be dissolved because of some magic action that's going to take place. He was obviously wrong with regards to all the timelines that he mentioned. And when you want governments to vanish into thin air, you are part of the problem. The New World Order plan for the new order in the world, and we are the order, okay, is literally for all governments to vanish, for there to be a one world government, for all borders to be gone, for all governments to be gone. So I cannot be a part of that plan. Cannot be part of the problem. And, maybe Jesse needs to investigate some more before he understands the big picture at work. So that is all I can say. I haven't met with him to speak to him. I'm not sure if it's worth the time at this stage. He probably still has a lot to learn. Juliet, at the moment, no vaccine will be forced on you. I can guarantee you that. That's an employer threatening. The government's not going to threaten you, okay? And many of these employers, they will be taken to the CCMA, etc. I mean, this is what will happen because they are telling the employees that they need to get vaccinated or they will lose their jobs. I have warned people in my meetings that Cyril Ramaphosa has met with business leaders, that these business leaders and church leaders that he's met with, that he's giving them the ultimatum to get their staff and the congregants to get the vaccine. And this is how it's done. So it's not government forcing it on you. You will not have options if you don't have a way of looking after yourself on your own. So they will remove those options from you, just like they've done in Israel. Why we need to fight this hand tooth and nail. Thanks, Debbie. Debbie says, keep up the good work, Debbie. Same to you. There's many people in the country that are going around actively doing things on the ground, and every single one of us need to do this. Hi, Navi Naidu. Yes, I'm doing well. Ek is hier. Mense, salute. DW. I don't want to hop on what FW the Klerk has done. He's so flippin' useless. I don't even want to bother with him. Really. The Stellenbosch Mafia book. Just remember, you can write a book on the Stellenbosch Mafia and they can give you the exact information they want to put in there and actually not get to the real crux of the problem. So you can actually write that book and you can be a part of what people, when people speak about the Kabbalah or the Stellenbosch Mafia, that's loosely referring to something that's far more serious. That's far more serious than any mafia. These people have real power over our government. And I mean, this is not a joke. This is a very serious thing. It's subversion at its best. And to degrade it into calling it the mafia is pathetic. So there you have my answer. Yeah, well, the earth is round. Okay, there we go. Okay, DVLs are going to a high court on Tuesday. People, you can follow her and what she's doing with regards to the high court, where she will. Uh, remember, there are many angles of attack at the moment of the fact that the Ruperts and the Oppenheimers are literally controlling our government. I've seen this with my own eyes, heard it with my own ears. And once you have that testimony, then it's very difficult to just take it out of the public domain. And at the moment, this narrative is being driven from all angles, even within the African National Congress, the ruling party. This is being thrown around at the highest level, at Cyril Ramaphosa. So I think he's in a corner right now. RG, you want to get involved? Send me an email. On the ground, changing their lives and how they think and becoming independent and self-reliant. That's what we need right now. Okay, just remember one thing: the Illuminati as an organization doesn't exist today, but there are millions of people across the globe believing in the Bavarian Illuminati doctrine. And that doctrine of the greater good of mankind versus individual liberty is sown everywhere in society. And this is the big problem. So a lot of people might not see it clearly, but when I lay out what to look out for, and if you come to my meetings, it will be clear it is everywhere, everywhere. And there's many people that believe in Illuminati doctrine amongst us. And you can call them Illuminati if you want. Hi, Eliza Wilson, just got you now. Welcome. Okay, Jan Smuts. I just saw Jan Smuts here. That's important. The Nude Gardner, please could elaborate on Jan Smuts and the formation of the League of Nations, aka United Nations. Just remember, this is an important one, very important one in history. I covered this in my longer WOD's meetings. The League of Nations was formed after the First World War, or an attempted League of Nations. Jan Smuts was instrumental in that. And that was a precursor for the United Nations. Just remember, it took 2 nuclear weapons to establish the United Nations because many people didn't want to be a part of it. Russia, the Tsar Nicholas I said he's not interested in this League of Nations nonsense because he doesn't need the other nations. And the Bavarian Illuminati planned to have all these countries united so that they can one day form a one world government. This was the plan. And Russia thwarted this plan, and this is why Nathan the Rothschild told Tsar Nicholas I, listen, you punk, I'm going to end your entire bloodline if you don't establish a reserve bank or central bank in Russia. And of course, the Tsar told him to go stuff himself, and the end result is Tsar Nicholas II and his entire family was assassinated. Not just assassinated, everyone was killed. You know, the Tsar, his wife, after he abdicated, as well as his children. And this is quite a serious thing that went down. Wow, we almost have 100 people on. This is quite amazing for this time of night. Yes, that history, the League of Nations, I haven't touched on Jan Smuts. Jan Smuts was instrumental in that happening. Not just instrumental, he was the brain behind it. Remember, he had a very high IQ, was a very intelligent man, absolutely believed in the Bavarian Illuminati doctrine. So he was an Illuminate. And he openly declared that the most intelligent among us need to rule the rest. In other words, he believed that the rest of us, that are the stupid, dumb people, must just fall in line with the clever people. So, I mean, he rubbed shoulders with Winston Churchill and the people that made the decisions during the Second World War and was instrumental in what happened there. He wrote the preamble for the establishment of that. So he couldn't give a toss about South Africa, that man. He was a traitor. Let me just put it straight forward. And I mean, a lot of people can be upset with me over that. I really don't care. I mean, we're stuck in the situation we're in now because of people like him. So I don't have time for them. Michelle Lawrence, praying for you and your family's protection and provision. Thanks for all the hard work. Thanks, Michelle. We need all the support we can get. It really helps when people support us with comments like that. And Brian asks, have you ever felt at risk while in South Africa? Not at all, Brian. You know, if something should happen, then it happens. We have to carry on with the work. But every time that I share the message that I have with people, the target on my back gets smaller because there's more and more people that have the information. And I make sure that the documents I have is distributed amongst many people around the country so that that information is everywhere. You cannot hide it anymore. You cannot take down an entire country's people. And at the moment, they would have to take down thousands. So I've spoken to thousands of people by now. And so, no, I don't feel threatened at this stage. They would have to kill every single one with the information if they want to remove the problem or lie to all of them and convince them of something else. Those are the only options. Reino's case is in the Concord. Lindy, Reino will let the public know. I spoke to Reino. I speak to Reino quite often. I spoke to him just the other day. We had a long conversation about that. So he will give an update. We'll do another live interview so that you can be updated on how things will be handled now. So there's a numerous things that needs to take place. These are legal processes, and the legal system takes time. The main thing that Rainer wants to highlight is that the legal system is also bought, fraught, and stuffed up completely. And I've known this more than 3 years ago. And all that Rainer is doing now is proving this in court, which shows you that you have no recourse and that we have to change the system, that this is the only way forward. If we change the entire governance system, we can change the schooling system, the legal system, the voting system, we can change all of that. But that's what it's going to take. And it takes one person at a time to do that. And anyone that's doing anything else is wasting your time. Anyone that's going around saying we're going to directly elect these idiot leaders that also believe in New World Order policy, they are buffoons. We don't need them. They're a waste of our time. If you're not going to change the entire system, then you are wasting everyone's time. That's it. It's that simple. Leon Caldenes, if you want to start a residence forum, can you request the email address of the residents from your municipality that reside in the suburbs to get them to join? I'm not sure if the municipality actually has all the email addresses of the people, but you can withhold that. You only need to give a go and just start a Facebook group or some kind of social media platform where you get people to join. And many people have successfully done that in their areas. Then you can get the people's email addresses and organize and meet. And I would encourage things like that. It's really important for people to stop being subjects and become citizens. And in my meetings, I highlight this, how powerful that can be. And the people that have been to my meetings and the follow-up meeting that Lauren presents, they will be empowered with knowledge to see how we can do this. And it's a very simple plan, and it's working. It's not something that's open for debate at this stage. It's working like clockwork. Dewald, I agree. If we're going to look for the truth, might as well go all the way and open our eyes in capitals. Opening eyes helps, but also your ears to hear. Because a lot of people will hear something and not actually understand what they're listening to. Justin Earthfire, thanks. There's David Groenewald. The Russians are moving troops and equipment to the Alaska-Russia border, and nothing from mainstream media. The build-up on the Ukraine border is heating up, with the US promising Ukraine full support. Okay, David, what you're discussing there are facts, okay? But what do the facts mean? This is what you need to understand. President Vladimir Putin, and I put that video in the community tab on the WOS channel, okay? He said clearly, the day the US president walks into office, some men in black suits and blue ties walk into his office, and they tell him how things are going to go. Now, what he actually played on is that exactly the same thing happened with him. So whatever he is doing, he's being controlled from a higher power. Believe me, there is no government in the world that's making their own decisions with regards to their militaries. There's a reason why we don't have a military at the moment. It's because the people that control our government, they are making sure that we don't have one for a very specific reason. So what we need to do very simply is organize on the ground. We need to become self-reliant, independent, resilient citizens. Now, to be a citizen, you can't sit on your hut and watch TV all day. That's not what a citizen does. A citizen firstly knows the area where they live. They know the laws under which they are governed. They understand their constitution and Bill of Rights. In there, they understand what is governing them. They understand their governance system. If you're just going and chasing a paycheck month to month, you are useless to this fight. Hi, Eleanor. Yes, I know, Eleanor. I know, Eleanor. I always spot your name, so don't worry. Hope you're doing well. It was good seeing you. What is the changes of another world war? What, in your opinion, must we keep eyes on? Okay, that's a very good question, RG. The Third World War, as my wife famously says in many of her meetings in the past, has continued since the Second World War, and that's probably an accurate description. It's just been a transition of things throughout the world. That started escalating in the 1980s in South Africa in the year 2000, and that war was on our children's minds. So if you don't understand that the Third World War, the build-up to an active war started in the minds of your children. There are 100 people watching now. Thanks, everyone. Please click the like button so we can get up to 100. It's really going to make a difference with the algorithms. So your children is the target. Just remember that many of the people my age, I'm turning 50 this year and older, they see us as a gone generation for their New World Order plans, because we don't want to be a part of that order to the degree that they want us to be. We will only become a part of that order as to the fact that we are willing to become enslaved in a Rothschild financial system, that we are willing to work like slaves, run on the South African hamster wheel. We are willing to become addicted to alcohol and cigarettes and drugs and all kinds of things. We were willing to do all of those things, but at the end, we will still fight for freedom. But what they have done is, because we've become so depraved and pathetic, we have handed our children over to this new order control systems, a cell phone, tablet, laptop, that's monitoring them continuously, and you just learn with these devices. You are absolutely out of your mind. Just stop it, please. So that is the Third World War in action. And from there, it'll escalate. Remember, you need control from the kids 12 years and up right now. That is already done and dusted worldwide. Do to you what they want. They can go and live with a boyfriend if they want to. Soon, that'll change to the age of 5, and then it'll get worse than that. Go and read UNESCO, who is a UN subsidiary's comprehensive sexuality education document, technical guide for 2030, and then come back to me and tell me what you read there. Timmerman Skelm Yanni. Guys, please like and share this video. Yes, Eleanor, people need to like and share. It really makes a big difference. The nude gardener agreed. Thank you on Jan Smuts. A lot of people think of Jan Smuts as a hero. He was the greatest traitor to not only the nation, but to the world's population. You must understand what he did. Basically killed humanity. The fact that we are humans. As a human, you are allowed to make mistakes. It's okay to make mistakes. It's okay for us to be different. We don't all have to be the same. But we can unite under one simple thing, that we want individual liberty and freedom to be able to live our lives the way that we see fit. And you always will need a form of government, but government shouldn't live in your life or be your parent. That's what they're currently doing. And the biggest problem here is the government believes that they have a right to save your life, which means they must tell you how to live for your life to be safe, tell you to wear a mask, tell you to have a curfew, and all these types of things. They should protect your right to protect yourself and protect your life. That is what they should do. And they've got it all wrong. So they should only protect your rights, not protect your life. It's not their job. It's not their job to look after your kids either. And they've given themselves that responsibility. What is really going on in Mozambique? Very good question. And this is important. Mozambique, go and watch my video. Go to the WODS channel and go to videos and then do a search for Mozambique. I did an extensive video on the details of Mozambique. That video won't be shown to people normally in their searches for one simple reason: it's been restricted. The video was restricted because of the sensitive content. Now this is normal, so the video is not banned; it's still there, but it's restricted. So go look for that video. In there, I go through the entire history of the conflict there. Just remember one thing: Total is a French company. They are owned by Rothschild agents. The Mozambican government wants funds from those gas fields. They are busy building the infrastructure for that. The Rothschilds ain't gonna want the Mozambican government to get anything from there. So they're always going to plan an insurgency to stuff over the Mozambican government so that they backtrack on their what the Rothschilds will consider their greed in actually wanting something that comes from their own flippant country. It's the same as here in South Africa. How many of our mineral mines gives us any funds? Zero. None of them. We get nothing for our minerals. The Oppenheimers run the whole show and their cronies. So all of that, all of our minerals leave the country. And if you actually think about how that works, it's such a joke. And the fact that people have just put up with this forever is absolutely sickening. Juliet Morris, thanks, Des. I told them that they won't be forced, but they're still freaking out. So I'll send this video to them and make sure they get to a meeting in Gauteng. Yes, please let them come to a meeting. They can also contact me, Juliet, asking to please give me a call on 067 607 6428, and I will explain to them what they can do. And they could even come into contact with Rhino, who will do some of the fights for them. People, I encourage Rhino to do more videos on his YouTube channel. So please go to the Liberty Fighters Network YouTube channel, subscribe there and support Rhino and encourage him to do those videos. It does take time. It's not easy to stand in front of the camera and talk. And this is why I come to you in meetings. So when I speak to the camera, I'm actually speaking to people. I recognize the people here in the feed because I've actually met with them, given them hugs, shaken their hands, and this is what matters. So this is not a normal YouTube channel. This is a way for me to communicate with people and put out information. And I'll be doing a lot more of that. And as you will know, I've made a decision to do this full time, only do YouTube and do the meetings. So I really need your support to continue with this. It is a very good platform for us to be able to get the message across to people out there. And none of my videos have been censored up until now, and that's important. Dave Hamlin, read the book The Secret History of the Jesuits by Eden Paris. The person who published this book was on the run for the rest of his life. There's many books like that. I speak about the Jesuits. Just remember, Adam Weishaupt was literally raised in a Jesuit school. So from there, he went on to become a Mason, and then he was upset with the Masonic fraternity, and he then later founded the Bavarian Illuminati. So I'm very familiar with the Jesuits, and there's two books that all of you should read. They are short, but they're very important. You'll understand how politicians function if you read those books. The Art of War by Sun Tzu, and then The Prince by Machiavelli. Those two books you should read, and once you've read them, you'll understand how a lot of these politicians think. They actually have some really good plans behind them, and they use principles that are intended to control people. And it's important that you understand what those principles are. Yes, we are in a World War III. Read at RG, you're 100% right. Silent War fought with needles instead of bullets. It's not just needles, it's many other things. One thing my father said to me, and it stuck with me, he said, son, the Third World War won't be fought with nuclear weapons falling all over the place. I'm not excluding nuclear weapons, but he said it'll be fought with tiny little things that you can't see. And he said that to me a long time ago. And I went through his documents, some of his documents again today, and read them. And it's actually chilling to see what they knew in the early 90s would happen now, because the plans are laid out. And this is why I'm very familiar with what is coming in future, or what's been planned in future. Yeah, they are irrelevant. The ruling party is irrelevant. Stop worrying over them. If you come to my meetings and you see what we're doing on the ground, it's the last thing you need to worry about, really. Warren Forrest, are you at all influenced by Dr. Johan Hubert when he was interviewed by Scott? No, I don't get influenced by anyone. I don't really understand that. I don't get influenced. I don't watch other people's interviews. I don't have time for it. What I do on my channel comes from me, my own life experience, the things that my father told me, the things that I saw with my own eyes. I have enough of a track record and history to hold my own without having to listen to other people and what they have to say. So I don't even know who these people are. Putin. It's not about a side for Putin. For Putin, it's about holding power and doing the best that he thinks he can for the Russian people. And this is a very complex situation. Putin has said many things against this new order that's being created. Okay, we have a fake, crazy person here, Chris Beekes. We're having fun. Okay, we need someone removed here from this feed, it looks like. So Putin himself as a person, I think, no, I think he's very conflicted. He obviously said that he was also told what to do when he walked into office. He's locked up many of his opposition when it comes to voting time. So they're supposed to be a democracy, but I don't know if you can call it a democracy at all. So yeah, it's a complicated one. The one thing I can tell you is he himself is not. Um, Putin himself is not someone. I just have to try and remove this one person. Is not someone that's going to fall in with the New World Order ideology. Okay, he's certainly someone that I think thinks about his people, but in interesting ways. It'll be interesting to speak to Putin about his political ideologies or what he wants for the country. There's obviously a very big production behind him, just the same as you would have with Greta Thunberg. So, the people following him, showing him, doing all sorts of things. It's a big production. Remember, he comes from the Kremlin. He was an intelligence chief. So, intelligence chief turned leader of Russia. I think the Rothschilds can do to him whatever they want, to be honest. Okay, where are we now? I know about the Cold Wars, but I'm talking about a full-on hot war. Yes. Well, it depends on what you consider hot. There's many things that you can consider to be a war, and the war on our children is the most serious right now. The kids that you are sending to school, your kids and grandkids that are going to school, being taught socialism, being taught to be distant from each other, being taught to wear something that does nothing to protect them, etc. This is where the fight is happening right now. A lot of people aren't interested in me when I speak about the kids. This is the crux. If you don't get this, then you will forever be selfish and only think about yourself. Your child is the target. If you don't understand it, you understand nothing. Yes, I also got that stupid COVID message from government today. Eleanor, it's really annoying. The EFF can't delay any elections. It's not possible. Our constitution doesn't allow it. There's no such thing. Stop worrying about the EFF. They're really not something to worry about. The last time I had anything to do with them, one of my manager in my business was at a provincial meeting where they were murdering each other over the head with chairs because they couldn't decide who they wanted in the positions. So believe me, they're nothing to worry about. They're honoring each other internally. Dewald Kutzer, you know, if you're such an expert, start your own YouTube channel to show the fakery and see how many people follow you. I believe in science. and real science, not the twat that's being sold out there. I can tell you now, there's instruments on the moon that normal university students are monitoring on a frequent basis. And either it was farted there or it was put there. Okay. So really, I don't have time for flat earthers. And if you want me to do a video on that, you're wasting my time. And secondly, I'm just not interested in that at all. Okay, Chris Beekers is a goner. So yes, when people put down nonsense, we just remove you. That was great seeing you as well, Eleanor. Okay, Dewald, you're on a different mission over here. This is a question and answer session. If you want a platform where you want to pronounce what you believe in, create your own one. Okay. Go somewhere else. Yeah, Chris Beekers is gone. Lenny, important. I don't need the government to protect my health. Never have and never will. I agree. This is how we need to think. As an individual, you need to think about one simple thing. How do you protect yourself? And I don't care if you want to wear a mask or a bubble suit to protect yourself. You have a right to do that. But for the government to tell you what to do is absolutely insane. And that is where I draw the line. Juliet Marek says, busy watching Soylent Green, mind-blowing. I haven't watched it. I don't have time to watch videos, unfortunately, but I hope you're enjoying it. Shirley Erasmus. Hi, Shirley. How are you doing? All the way from Usina. Yeah, I don't think no links are allowed to be posted on this channel, people. So you will never see any link on this channel. It's not allowed. Okay. RG says, being researching the corrupt global financial system, fiat paper money. It's important to know that fiat paper money is a figment of our imagination, just like Bitcoin and many other things are. It doesn't mean that you can't use it to get the 5 things you need for survival: water, food, shelter, energy, and something to keep you sane. I'll repeat that over and over and over. In that order, water first. People, you need to make sure that you have water to drink, that you have water to drink in your house. Most of the places around the country, the biggest crisis they're facing is water. If you look at the Eastern Cape and you look at the South Coast in KZN, water is the greatest issue. And I will tell you now that my family, when we traveled from Harding into Port Shepstone, it's 50 kilometers from Harding to Port Shepstone, there was a police blockade that said that we can't go through. We saw the flames in the distance, so there were protests happening, and we took one of the side routes that the police asked us to take, and then we took a shortcut back to the N2 on a gravel road. And then we proceeded along that gravel road and found blockage upon blockage on the N2 all the way into Port Shepstone for a distance of more than 30 kilometers. And we managed to get through each and every obstruction as a family with people standing next to the road. They did nothing to us. They let us through tens of kilometers that have not had water now for months. And this is not people that are being bussed in to go and toy and burn tires. These are people that are really fed up with the fact that they don't have water to drink. So people, make sure that you have water supply. When we were in Grahamstown, we didn't have any water for 3 days, nothing. And the people are used to that, so they all have water tanks outside their homes. Don't think because you have water now, you're not going to have nothing very, very soon. There's no water infrastructure being maintained at this stage. None. It's not happening. Please, people, like the video so that we can get algorithms to distribute this. And please share the video as well. Okay. Yes, Michael Baker, it is funny. They are blitzing each other internally, so you don't have to worry. They'll sort each other out. It's no different in the ruling party right now. If you look at the NEC of the African National Congress, they are so divided. And many of the people in the African National Congress are divided within the MP ranks. And some of these people are on our side with regards to this new world order they want to fight. They don't want to be beholden to the United Nations. But it's important to know that Steenhuisen, the DA leaders, decided to side with the New World Order faction, Cyril Mampara lot, because he believes that we should give up our freedom for the greater good of mankind, so they can all go stuff themselves and they can choke on the money I gave them in the past. Lindy Kretsman talking about kids that are going crazy on a game called Imposter, which we have realized is preparing them for what is to come. Lindy, there are many things like that. Get them off the phones. Spend time with your kids. Just remember, women were literally empowered to compete with men so that they can be removed from their children. So the schools can have direct access to them, so the teachers can become their parents, so that you lose complete control. That's already done and dusted. So the only way to change that is to take your children back. We are homeschooling our kids. I can't tell you what to do, but make sure that you are in charge of your kids at school. If they go to a public school, or even if they go to a private school, make sure that you set the tone and you tell the teachers that you are in charge of their lives. This is vital. Michael Baker, so what's the answer if everything is laid out in a well-established plan? How are we ever going to fight this? That's a very good question, Michael. I like that question. Simple. You prepare on the ground in your masses, one person at a time. You firstly inform people. You teach them, you train them, you make sure that they are prepared for any eventuality. You become self-reliant. The moment you have a citizenry in the country that are self-reliant, prepared, and support each other and stand together, you cannot be taken down by any military anywhere in the world. And this is very important to understand. Why could they go into Libya? Why could they go into Iraq, the Americans, and take down those leaders and end up killing them? For one simple reason, they didn't have public support. And this is not about a leader. If we prepare each and every citizen as a leader, can you imagine the power of that? So this is why I tell people, if you want the superhero to save you, you are not a part of the solution. Then you are a part of the problem. If you are following a leader, you are part of the problem. Because there's no person that are self-declared leaders. If a plan is laid out, it doesn't mean that it's going to work. Their plans have been screwed over so many times already, especially in South Africa. And the Leave Our Kids Alone movement that my wife Lauren started is a very good example of this. The comprehensive sexuality education in the school was made compulsory. Teachers would have been disciplined if they didn't teach according to that curriculum, that new, absolutely perverted curriculum. And what happened in the end? Because so many people came together in their droves, what happened? Angie Motshekga had to relent and make it voluntary. Now, this isn't good enough. We need to change the entire governance system, but that was a victory against their plan. And because Lauren started hashtag Leave Our Kids Alone, and around 140,000 people joined that hashtag, they started a counter hashtag called hashtag Because We Can. They are that arrogant. So we have a fight on our hands, make no mistake. I'm sorry if I missed some questions in between. Why not involving people like David Icke and Alex Jones? What has David Icke ever done to help the world with regards to a plan? Please tell me. What plan has Alex Jones come up with to help the world or his country? Please tell me. I'll leave it there. Department of Education is clamping down and making it more and more difficult to home educate your child. Part of the plan to break down the family unit. Absolutely correct, Michelle Lawrence. Hi, Valerie. Hope you're doing well. Yes, Juliet, water will be a serious commodity in the future. If you have water, you will have a fighting chance. Absolutely. And as you know, Juliet, in Wilderness, I don't know if you've done the hike up to the waterfall yet, but your supply pipe is not in good shape. Beja Michael, RJ, is there a chance of civil war in the country? There's always a chance of civil war in any country. What I can tell you is there will never be a race war in this country. A civil war might be people from opposing opinions fighting each other. Those that believe in individual liberty versus those that believe in uh, the greater good of mankind. I don't think it will come to that. We are too strong on the ground. And in South Africa, about 80% of the population is conservative and religious. So this is what counts in our favor. The US is in a different situation. And I will use them as an example because in the United States, you literally have people split 50-50. Uh, 50% of the people want individual liberty, and 50% of the people are willing to relinquish their freedom for the greater good of mankind and believe the other 50% should do the same. They want to force them to do it, and that is a huge problem. Seems a clock. Hi, Valerie. You can watch the video afterwards. Remember to share the video. Keep on clicking the like button. With 98 likes now, and we've probably had about 300 people on here already. So if you click the like button, it helps. I'm very bad at normally doing these things, but it helps drive the videos to more people. This channel is growing at the moment at quite a rate, and we need to keep that up. We need to get this channel to way over 100,000 people. We passed 25,000 now, strong on our way to 26,000. We need to grow. Friends, just remember, this channel, even for its small size, has had over 3 million views. This is unheard of. In South African history, this has never happened before. This channel has had the most views ever, and this is within 6 to 7 months. That is absolutely incredible, and I really want to thank you for sharing these videos to make that possible. The likes is up to 108 now. Thank you so much. WikiLeaks. The WikiLeaks, I think, is important. A lot of the documentation leaked on there are legitimate documents. And I think it's easy to leak something that is fake. Always look out for this. This is a tip. If someone claims that something is from the 70s, a document, check to see if it was written with a typewriter or not, because computers did not exist back then. So it would have to have been a typed document that someone took a photograph of. If it's got a font, it is not from the 70s, it's a lie. And there's a lot of quack like that. Hi, LV, John Moyer, gold and silver, always good investments. You know, gold and silver, you can't break it. So I suppose it helps. Thanks, Valerie. Des, what is your opinion about the Afrikaner Broederbond? Are they still active as a hidden behind the scenes? It's called Afrikaner Bond. You know, the Broederbond, they just morphed into a couple of organizations. Just remember, the origins of the Broederbond was for people to preserve what they considered Afrikaner Bond, whatever that was supposed to be. They were infiltrated so fast by the Illuminati doctrines. And the moment that happens, everything changes. And this is a huge problem. Okay, silver is in short supply at the moment. Remember, a lot of people have actually gone and sold more silver than there was available. But the things that's going to skyrocket in future will be all these coins that are digital, that are figment of our imagination, and people have decided to invest in figments of the imagination. Okay, and they have decided that they will give value to something like that of over 900,000 rand per Bitcoin, for instance. This is what people are willing to invest literally for a figment of the imagination. That's what it is. And fiat currency is no different. Fiat currency, you can't do anything with it really because there's nothing to back it, except that we are allowed to exchange it for our labor at this stage. It's all we're allowed to do with fiat currency, and it can be turned to zero overnight. Bitcoin can go to zero overnight. Ethereum can go to zero overnight. You know, there's nothing to back it. With gold and silver, you physically have something in your hand as long as it has value. Remember, you can flood the market with gold and silver or drive propaganda to say that it's of no use. You can say that it's poisonous to the body or something, and the value becomes nothing overnight. It's endless what you can do. Remember diamonds. What did the Oppenheimers and the Rothschilds do? Take a stone that was used in engineering and all of a sudden say we put it in a wedding ring, and now all of a sudden it'll last for the rest of your life because diamonds are forever because it's a very hard stone. All of a sudden the price of a diamond goes through the roof, and they go and amalgamate all the diamond mines at Kimberley, and the Beers is formed, and the Oppenheimers own the Beers. Where do the Oppenheimers come from? Amschel Rothschild taught was taught banking in an Oppenheimer bank. So they were right there at the beginning, and they're still big butts today. We've been going for over 50 minutes now. My throat is starting to get raw. I actually did 3 hours of talking earlier today with around 40 people. So yeah, it's been a lot of talking. Finally, question. Just remember, you can go and watch this video afterwards to get all the details. Thank you for everyone that's liked this video. Just the last couple of questions here. Deutsche Bank and the European banks are planning to use the water as a commodity and trade it like gold. Absolutely. David Groenewald, thanks for that. It's very important that you understand that many people will turn water into a commodity. Where normal source, groundwater, rivers, dams, everything will become the property of corporations. This is part of the UN's Agenda 2030. Go and read that document. It is population control. It is not sustainability. But all the youth will buy this nonsense. I told you, your child is the target, and your teacher in school. You are worried about Masons and you are worried about Illuminati. Go and worry about the teacher that's teaching your child crap in school. That's what you should be worried about. Let me see what else we have here. Ideas, what is the possibility that we can elect you as Western Cape Minister? No, not interested. I'm not a leader. I give people information. This is all I'm interested in. And I want to train future leaders. So this is my passion. I want to train people to become citizens so that they can put themselves forward to become our future leaders. This is a work in progress and it is working on the ground. Very successful. And we need to continue with that work. There's a good documentary on DW about the plans to trade water. Absolutely. Water will become the most important commodity in future. How much time do you have to live if there's no water? 3 days, 72 hours. That's what you have before you die. Think about that. Think about the power of controlling water supply. If you want to control the world's human population, all you need to do is control the water. And this is why smart meters are being installed everywhere. Think about it. This is why these water crises were created to begin with. Besides the vaccine that is deadly, well, I don't know how deadly the vaccine is now. Vaccine passport is just as detrimental. Israel, which was used as a guinea pig, has now lost their freedom. We cannot allow vaccines or vaccine passports. I've spoken about the COVID passes early in last year already. That video went viral. Go and watch it again. Just remember, when I put that information out there months ago, Facebook, the people that shared it on Facebook, their fact checkers said that I was spreading fake news. Well, they were the fakers. It's all there now. You know, these plans have been there for a long time. My father explained to me a lot of these plans in detail. How did he know that COVID-19 was going to come in 2004? Because it was discussed in a meeting where he was present in 1984. 20 years before. This is how he knew. The name COVID-19 didn't exist then. He never mentioned that to me, but he said about this virus that will be spread around the world. He specifically mentioned that it'll kill sickly people only. And he also specifically said that we'll all be put under house arrest. That's what he called it. And you know, you cannot deny that he had knowledge of this and that it was planned. He didn't know when it was going to be rolled out, but it was planned. The real truth is as rare as chicken teeth. DJ Mexa, the silent one, Des, how do we help people in the townships? It is very difficult to sell this awareness to them. They're totally blank and still believe in this government. I'm in Durban. Contact me and then you arrange meetings where you are and we'll come and speak to the people. My largest meeting I had was in Lulakane in Limpopo. Um, don't tell me the people aren't awake in the informal settlements. They certainly are. You just need to know who to look for. They are there. It's not easy for them to generally speak out, but it's mostly the youth, the younger people that are very awake. And I meet them. They come to my meetings around the country. And let me tell you something. I know more about the Rothschilds, the Ruperts, the Oppenheimers than most middle and upper middle class people out there. So I really want to thank all the people that are awake in informal settlements. And remember, these days in informal settlements, you get people from all cultures and religious persuasions. People have fallen on tough times, and an informal settlement is not a color thing. It is a circumstance thing. And just remember, the Rothschild financial system doesn't allow people to come out of that circumstance. And we need to create a system where it will be possible in the future. Why do they still have the curfew in place? It's control, Eleanor. You know, the curfew is to make you feel subservient. Just remember one thing. In school is where you were first taught, always listen to the government. Always believe the media. Believe what's on the TV. This is what you've been fed in school. Have you ever had a school teacher tell you to not trust the government, to not trust the media? No. You did essays and you did orals on the media, trusting articles. This is what the school system taught you. We need to change that curriculum completely. People, I think we need to end off now. We're just about at an hour. I really want to thank you for everything you've done. Tomorrow we move on to Howick. We will have a meeting on Monday at 5:30. I really look forward to that. Last time in Howick, we had around 40 people in that meeting. And after this morning's video, we had just as many people respond. So we're going to have another good meeting in Howick and then a follow-up meeting. And hopefully I see a lot of you there. The more, the better. And then from there, we will move on to Vryheid, where we will also have 3 meetings. And then we'll move on to Gauteng from there. Mpumalanga, we'll visit Mpumalanga and many other places. But I'll keep you updated with that. And you can contact us on 067 607 6428 if you want to attend the Howick meeting. And the people for Vryheid can start contacting us too, and we'll give you the dates when we will be there. But I really want to thank you for everything that you're doing to spread the channel and the video. So please share this video, click the like button. We're at 118 likes. The more likes we have, the better. And then share this video. So the next time I have good internet, I'll do another live stream. It doesn't matter what time of day. This one started quite late. It's past 11 o'clock now. I really want to thank you for joining. I hope you have a good night's sleep. Juliet, days next time you're here. I have many people in our township here that would love a meeting. I speak to many of them. Contact me, phone me on 067 607 6428, and we arrange that meeting. We will get to you. And then we will go and have that meeting and speak to the people. It's vital that we get to everyone that wants to hear. The people that don't want to hear, leave them alone. Don't strive for them. It's fine. In time, they will see what happens to their freedom. Okay, good night, everyone. Good night, Michael. 2 Michaels. Very enlightening. Greetings from Amsterdam. Michael Lawson, thanks for watching. We need more people around the world to start changing how we do things. Okay, see you soon, Christo, Erika. Good night. Good night, everyone.